Congress is about to start. Please take your seats. Thank you. Chers délégués, le Congrès est sur le point de débuter. Nous vous prions de bien vouloir prendre place. Merci. Estimados delegados, el Congreso está a punto de comenzar. Rogamos tomen asiento. Muchas gracias. Geschätzte Delegierte, der Kongress beginnt in wenigen Augenblicken. Nehmen Sie bitte Ihre Plätze ein. Vielen Dank.
Monsieur le Président de la FIFA, Issa Hayatou,
President of FIFA, Issa Hayatou,
Committee, dear President of the International Olympic Committee, Dr. Thomas Bach, dear Presidents of the associations and members and guests of the FIFA football community, ladies and gentlemen, I have the great pleasure to welcome you to our Extraordinary FIFA Congress here in Zurich on the 26th of February 2016. Let us start by introducing and testing the electronic voting system. You have all received the electronic voting equipment by entering here. If you are in favor of a vote, please push the green button. If you want to abstain from a vote, press the yellow button. And if you say no, if you vote against the motion, please use the red button. We have a voting time of 15 seconds. And you also have the possibility to correct the vote by pressing the red button again. In order to test this twice, we have prepared 2 questions for you. The first testing question is the following. Is the 2018 FIFA World Cup taking place in Russia? If you think yes, push the green button. If you want to abstain, you push the yellow button, and if you say no, then you push the red button. So the voting time is open. So the vote is closed, waiting for the result. So there's a large majority looking forward to having the World Cup in Russia. Thank you. We proceed to the we proceed to the second question. Did Argentina win the 2014 FIFA World Cup? If you think yes, green button. To abstain, yellow. To say no, red button. The vote is open. So you see the result. Thank you for having followed our flagship competition in 2014. With this, Monsieur le Président, avec ces résultats, j'aimerais passer la parole.
Having said this, I would like to ask you to take the floor, Mr. Acting President, to address the Congress.
Monsieur le Président du Comité international olympique,
President of the International Olympic Committee, Mr. Thomas Bach,
la Fédération suisse de football,
President of the Swiss Football Federation, ladies and gentlemen, Vice Presidents and members of the FIFA Executive Committee, members of the various FIFA committees, and representatives of the 209 member associations of FIFA, dear colleagues from the International Olympic Committee, dear colleagues, welcome to the Extraordinary FIFA Congress in Zurich. First of all, I wish to thank each and every one of you for being present here today. This Congress will quite certainly mark a watershed moment in the history of FIFA. First of all, because we are embarking on a new chapter and opening a new chapter, but also because we commit and are determined to embark on that path towards change. Nobody can deny that we have had to face very tall challenges last year, challenges that shook the very foundations of our organization and raising numerous questions. The entire world has its eyes on us today. Unfortunately, FIFA has too often been at the center of the world's attention for all the wrong reasons. But we have the possibility to change this and show that the vast majority of FIFA's members is committed and involved in football for all the good reasons. Together, We are determined to refocus things as they should be, i.e., put football at the center of our attention and nothing else. The difficult mission before us is to restore trust and to improve our way of working, and that task begins here today. Therefore, we will vote a series of reforms that are far-reaching and progressive, and that will help us build a stronger FIFA. I also wish to thank Mr. François Carrat of the Reform Committee of FIFA 2016 for the work in elaborating and developing these reforms that have been approved, by the way, unanimously by the Executive Committee of FIFA last December. We will then follow on with the election of the new president of FIFA. Time has come to designate the person who will guide us in this very difficult time and who will ensure that the reforms are implemented at all levels and who will work with each and every one of us in order to define the new vision of FIFA. I wish the best of success to all of the candidates. And to you, dear member associations, I wish a better and brighter future now that we are tracing the outlines of this new future together today. Thank you. Now I wish to invite the president of the Swiss Football Federation, Peter Guillerand, to address the Congress and welcome the member association delegates. Thank you.
Monsieur le Président d'intérim de la FIFA,
President in exercise
Messieurs les membres du comité
of FIFA,
exécutif,
members of the Executive Committee of FIFA,
chers délégués,
dear guests,
bonjour à toutes et à
delegates,
tous, ou comme on dit
welcome
ici
to
à
all
Zurich,
of you, or as they say in Zurich, grüezi.
c'est un grand honneur,
It is a
un
great
grand
honor
plaisir de vous
and a
donner
great
la
pleasure
bienvenue ici à
to
Zurich,
welcome you here
au nom de
today
l'association
in
suisse
Zurich
de football
in the name
et
of
toute la population
the
suisse.
Swiss Football Federation and in the name of the
Il y a
entire
à peu près
Swiss
10 mois,
population.
j'ai eu ce même plaisir de vous donner la
10
bienvenue
months
ici.
ago, roughly, I had
Même si
the
je le fais
same pleasure to
beaucoup de
welcome you here,
plaisir,
and even
j'espère que ce sera
if
la dernière fois
I do so again, once again, full of pleasure, I hope it will be it won't be necessary to have another Extraordinary Congress in the upcoming years, but rather more that we will have a well-working FIFA going forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have, as you have seen outside, fulfilled our duties as a host. The sun is shining. We have organized it for you. Now it's your turn, and my turn too, because I'm a delegate, to make the sun shine for the FIFA. And I think we have today the power to make the sun shine for the FIFA in taking good decisions. I don't say what decisions, but I think we have the chance to make the sun shine the whole year for FIFA and for the future of football and FIFA. I wish you a good day, a sunny day, and a good day for FIFA and the future of the football on the world. Thank you very much.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr.
Pour ce
President,
mot de bienvenue.
for this welcoming address.
Sans plus tarder,
And now, without further ado,
sur scène,
I would like to ask His Excellency, the President of the International Olympic Committee, Mr. Thomas Bach, to please join us here on stage.
Je ne parlerai pas si longtemps que j'ai besoin de l'eau.
That long because I need some water here.
Monsieur le Président de la FIFA,
President of
Issa
FIFA,
Hayatou,
Issa Hayatou,
membres du
members of the Executive Committee of FIFA,
chers délégués,
delegates,
le Président de l'Association suisse,
President of the Swiss Football Federation,
chers candidats à la
candidates
présidence de la FIFA,
for the presidency of
mesdames
FIFA,
et messieurs.
ladies and gentlemen.
Merci beaucoup d'abord
First of
à
all,
votre
thank you. I wish to thank the President and colleague at the IOC, Mr. Issa Hayatou, for inviting me to this extraordinary Congress of FIFA. I deeply appreciate this gesture, Mr. President.
Today will be an extraordinary day in more than one sense. Even in an ordinary election, a new leadership means time for change. Today is an extraordinary day, as you will not only elect a new president, but you will also decide on the future of world football. Today, you have this great chance to turn the page, this great chance to start a new chapter for football that we all love so much. We live in a world that is asking new questions. The world today takes less for granted. It is our shared responsibility to provide new answers to these new questions. In all areas of society, we need to give new answers to the new questions with regard to credibility and good governance. This is particularly true for sport, because the credibility of sport organizations and sport competitions is the foundation of our mission. The FIFA President and the FIFA Executive Committee made this very clear by urging all FIFA member associations to approve the proposed reforms to strengthen governance and transparency. If you follow their advice, your new president will have a solid foundation to build on and to implement these reforms. We in the IOC know from our own bitter experience that this is not an easy process. We know from our own history what it takes to rebuild credibility. But today we see very clearly how vital these reforms have been. We also see that this needs an ongoing and continuous effort. You cannot compare the standards of good governance from yesterday with the requirements of today. These standards are ever evolving. This is what we are addressing together with our stakeholders in Olympic Agenda 2020. We all here know football is about scoring goals. Today, you're electing your new team leader. Today, you're deciding your new game strategy. I hope with you that in the game that follows, you will score the winning goals for world football. As a lifelong fan of this beautiful game, I wish you all the very best for this crucial team effort today. Thank you very much and good luck.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this speech, which is very reassuring. And we now come to item number 2 of our agenda. Mr. Secretary General, you have the floor.
Thank you, President. So we proceed with the roll call in alphabetical order. Afghanistan, present. Albania, present. L'Algérie, present. American Samoa, present. Andorra, presente. Angola present. Anguilla present. Antigua and Barbuda present. Argentina presente. Armenia present. Aruba present. Australia present. Österreich anwesend. Aserbaidschan present. Bahamas present. Bahrain present. Bangladesh present. Barbados present. Belarus present. Belgique present. Belize present. Benin present. Bermuda present. Bhutan present. Bolivia presente. Bosnia and Herzegovina present. Botswana present. Brazil presente. British Virgin Island present. Brunei Darussalam present. Bulgaria present. Burkina Faso present. Burundi present. Cambodia present. Cameroon present. Canada present. Cap Vert present. Cayman Island present. République centrafricaine présent. Tchad présent. Chile presente. People's Republic of China present. Chinese Taipei present. Colombia presente. Comores présent. Congo présent. République démocratique du Congo présent. Cook Island present. Costa Rica presente. Côte d'Ivoire présent. Croatia present. Cuba presente. Curaçao present. Cyprus present. Czech Republic present. Denmark present. Djibouti present. Dominica present. Repubblica Dominicana presente. Ecuador presente. Egypt present. El Salvador presente. England present. Guinea Equatorial presente. Eritrea present. Estonia present. Ethiopia present. Faroe Island present. Fiji present. Finland present. France présent. Gabon présent. Gambia present. Georgia present. Deutschland anwesend. Ghana present. Greece present. Grenada present. Guam present. Guatemala presente. Guinée présent. Guinée-Bissau présent. Guyana present. Haiti présent. Honduras presente. Hong Kong present. Hungary present. Iceland present. India present. Indonesia present. Iran present. Iraq present. Republic of Ireland present. Israel present. Italy present. Jamaica present. Japan present. Jordan present. Kazakhstan present. Kenya present. Democratic People's Republic of Korea present. Korea Republic present. Kuwait present. Kyrgyzstan present. Laos present. Latvia present. Lebanon present. Lesotho present. Liberia present. Libya present. Liechtenstein anwesend. Lithuania present. Luxembourg anwesend. Macau present. Former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia present. Madagascar present. Malawi present. Malaysia present. Maldives present. Mali present. Malta present. Mauritanie present. Mauritius present. Mexico presente. Moldova present. Mongolia present. Montenegro present. Montserrat present. Maroc present. Mozambique present. Myanmar present. Namibia present. Nepal present. Netherlands present. Nouvelle-Calédonie present. New Zealand present. Nicaragua presente. Niger present. Nigeria present. Northern Ireland present. Norway present. Oman present. Pakistan present. Palestine present. Panama presente. Papua New Guinea present. Paraguay presente. Peru presente. Philippines present. Poland present. Portugal present. Puerto Rico presente. Qatar present. Romania present. Russia present. Rwanda present. Samoa present. San Marino present. Sao Tome e Principe present. Saudi Arabia present. Scotland present. Senegal present. Serbia present. Seychelles present. Sierra Leone present. Singapore present. Slovakia present. Slovenia present. Solomon Island present. Somalia present. South Africa present. South Sudan present. España presente. Sri Lanka present. St. Kitts and Nevis present. St. Lucia present. St. Vincent and the Grenadines present. Sudan present. Suriname present. Swaziland present. Sweden present. Schweiz anwesend. Syria present. Tahiti present. Tajikistan present. Tanzania present. Thailand present. Timor-Leste present. Togo present. Tonga present. Trinidad and Tobago present. Tunisie present. Turkey present. Turkmenistan present. Turks and Caicos Island present. Uganda present. Ukraine present. United Arab Emirates present. Uruguay presente. United States of America present. US Virgin Islands present. Uzbekistan present. Vanuatu present. Venezuela presente. Vietnam present. Wales present. Yemen present. Zambia present. And Zimbabwe present.
Bien.
Un moment. On va attendre l'ensemble des associations. Donc, as you can see on the slide, we have all member associations being present today. All 209 member associations of FIFA are here today. We have 2 member associations suspended. We will deal with this matter at a later stage, which means we have a total number of member associations present and entitled to vote of 207. I herewith declare that the Congress has been convened and composed in compliance with the FIFA statutes, and with this I would like to give back the floor to the President. Monsieur le Président.
Nous allons passer au point 3.
Okay, we're going to address item 3, appointment of scrutineers.
Veuillez proposer 3 associations membres pour la
We
votation
have
électronique.
to suggest
8
3
scrutateurs pour le vote à main levée,
associations for
4
the
scrutateurs pour l'élection du
electronic
président.
vote and the 4 scrutineers for the election of the president. You have the floor, Mr. Secretary General.
Avec plaisir, Monsieur le Président. So we have the appointment of 3 scrutineers to examine the functioning of the electronic voting system and to sign the protocol. Then we have the vote on the appointment of 8 scrutineers to count the voting by a show of hands, in case that the electronic voting system would not work. And we have the appointment of 4 scrutineers to distribute and count the ballot papers for the election of the president, which we need for agenda item number 11. So we proceed with the first vote, which is on the approval of the appointment of 3 scrutineers to examine the functioning of the electronic voting system and to sign the protocol. The proposal are the following member associations: Guyana, Macau, Malawi. So if you agree with this proposal, push the green button. If you want to abstain, yellow. If you say no, no, red button. The vote is open. The vote is closed. Thank you. Let's wait for the result. So we have a majority of 99% and the proposal has been approved. May I ask the 3 scrutineers to proceed already to the e-voting table? We come to the second vote, which is on the approval of appointment of 8 scrutineers to count the voting by a show of hands. The proposal is Albania, Argentina, British Virgin Island, Chinese Taipei, Faroe Island, Iraq, New Caledonia, and Solomon Island. If you say yes, green button, abstain, yellow, no, red button. The vote is open. So also here we have a large majority in favor of this proposal, and I kindly ask the 8 scrutineers to remain seated for the time being, and we proceed with the third and final vote on the appointment of 4 scrutineers to distribute and count the ballot papers for the election of the president. The proposal is Australia, Ethiopia, Lithuania, and Mexico. If you agree, green. If you want to abstain, yellow. To say no, red button. The vote is open. The vote is closed. Thank you. We wait for the result. So we have 194 yes, 8 no. The proposal has been approved. Thank you very much. May I ask the 4 scrutineers to remain seated until agenda item 11 of today. With this, I would like to give back the floor to the President, Monsieur le Président.
Bien, merci. Après avoir donc épluché le point 3, nous passons au point 4. Nous demandons au secrétaire général de voir s'il y a des fédérations suspendues.
Could the Secretary General tell us about suspended or expelled federations?
Thank you, President. So I will provide you with some background on this situation. On the 30th of May 2015, the Executive Committee concluded that third parties had interfered with the management of football activities of the Football Association of Indonesia in violation of Articles 13 and 17 of the FIFA statutes, and therefore the Football Association of Indonesia was suspended with immediate effect and until such time as it is able to comply with its obligation under Articles 13 and 17 of the FIFA statutes. Furthermore, on the 16th of October 2015, the Kuwait Football Association was suspended based on the decision taken by the FIFA Executive Committee on the 25th of September 2015 until further notice. The suspension was imposed due to interference in the affairs of the association through a newly implemented national sports law, which was contrary to Articles 13 and 17 of the FIFA statutes. Please be informed that the next Ordinary Congress of FIFA, taking place in Mexico on the 12th and 13th of May 2016, will take a decision on the confirmation of the suspension of the Football Association of Indonesia and the Kuwait Football Association. To conclude, both member associations are suspended and therefore not entitled to vote at today's Extraordinary Congress. So you see the final situation of 209 member associations being present, of which 2 being suspended, leaving 207 member associations present and entitled to vote. With this, I would like to close the agenda item 4 and give back the floor to the President.
Well, you followed the explanations provided for these 2 suspended federations. We're talking about government interference that are not tolerated by FIFA statutes. That's why these countries were suspended, pursuant to the explanations provided by the Secretary General. And these issues will be addressed in the Ordinary Congress on the 12th and 13th of May in Mexico. So we're going to continue now with the agenda for the Congress. Mr. Secretary General, could you continue with item 5?
Merci, Monsieur le Président. J'ai donc le plaisir de vous présenter pour approbation l'ordre du jour qui a été communiqué à toutes les associations membres.
You've all received the agenda for the Extraordinary Congress. This was sent to everybody ahead of time. So the first item is the welcome, followed by a roll call and declaration that the Congress has been convened and composed in compliance with the statutes. 3, appointment of scrutineers. 4, suspension or expulsion of a member. 5, approval of the agenda. 6, appointment of 5 members to check the minutes. 7, President's address. 8, reform of FIFA's organizational structure. 9, vote on proposals for amendments for the FIFA statutes, regulations governing the application of the statutes, and standing orders of the Congress. Item 10, election for replacement of members of judicial bodies. 11, election of the FIFA president. And 12, President's closing remarks. I would suggest that we move directly to the vote for approving today's agenda, as you can see on the screen. So, if you would, please press the green button for yes, the yellow button for abstention, and the red button for no. Voting is open.
Merci. Donc on a une
Thank you. So we have a majority of 204 member associations in favor, so the agenda for today is approved.
numéro 5, ça a été approuvé avec une très grande
So,
majorité.
the
Nous
agenda has
passons
been
au point
approved
6.
with an ample majority. We can move on to item 6.
Veuillez proposer 5 associations membres.
Please
en vue de
appoint
vérifier
5
la
member
procédure
associations to check the official minutes.
Thank you, President. So we need to vote on the approval of the appointment of 5 members to check the minutes. The proposal for the 5-member associations is the following. We have Liechtenstein, Nigeria, St. Lucia, Tunisia, and Uruguay. If you agree with this, push the green button. If you want to abstain, the yellow button. And if you say no, the red button. The vote is open. Thank you. So we have 193 member associations in favor. The proposal has been approved. Thank you very much. I give the floor back to the President, Monsieur le Président.
Monsieur le Président du CIO,
President of the IOC,
Monsieur le membre du Comité exécutif,
members of the Executive Committee,
Fédération suisse,
distinguished President of the Swiss Federation, ladies and gentlemen,
nous sommes réunis
we are gathered here
dans des circonstances extraordinaires
in extraordinary circumstances
qu'il est tout autant
and in a context that is just as extraordinary.
et en jeu.
The future of FIFA is at stake after a year of crisis
Mais cet avenir
and ups and downs.
façonné ensemble,
But this future, we can shape it together. This future, despite the challenges that await, should not fill us with fear.
je ne reviendrai pas sur ce qui s'est passé.
I won't
Soyons clairs,
rehash the past,
une infime minorité
but let's be crystal clear. The smallest of minorities in our organization
d'événements de l'année écoulée
and only a few actions over the past year do not have their place in football. Indeed, they don't have their place anywhere.
avoir de place dans l'avenir
And they definitely do not have their place in the future of our organization.
de notre unité.
On this point, I'm completely convinced about our unity, and we have a great opportunity now to set the record straight. We need to seize this opportunity
De notre responsabilité commune.
because it is our shared responsibility.
L'âpre travail de réparation
The difficult chore of repairing and restoring our organization rests on our shoulders.
réforme
Today, we vote for reforms that will allow us to build a stronger FIFA so that football can prosper in fairness and in a spirit of sustainability in the long run, and also so that the events of the last months never happen again.
en place une FIFA plus
We will set up a FIFA that will be more transparent, stronger, and more responsible. It will win back the respect of everybody throughout the world.
du comité exécutif par le Conseil de la FIFA.
Replacing the executive committee by the council at FIFA
L'aspect stratégique
will be more focused on strategy. There will be a separation of powers to prevent conflicts of interest between those who take political decisions and those who take more administrative or managerial decisions.
un plus grand soutien
Greater support for women's football
en faveur du rôle
and also promoting the role of women in the decision-making process.
vision renforcée au principe des droits
Stricter adherence
tous les domaines
to the principles of human rights in all our areas of work.
de fonction
Term limits for posts and publication of incomes of the main leaders and heads at FIFA.
des standards de gouvernance toujours plus élevés
Governance standards of increasing quality
de nomination
and greater independence in the nomination and taking of decisions, and also a greater commitment to the world of football. I urge you all to support these measures through your vote today. I urge you to adopt these reforms and to implement them fully in the future. This will create a governance system that will be stronger, also a broader diversity that will give football a solid foundation which will allow it to bloom. This system will reestablish trust in our organization, and it will deter those who might be inclined to behave in a reprehensible manner. This reform is a task that we are carrying out together in a spirit of collective responsibility. It is this same exact spirit of collective responsibility that led to the growth of our organization since 1904, and it has allowed us to achieve so much with football. By embracing reform, we will be able to focus our energies once again on the original mission of FIFA. This mission which has made us engage with football. We are here to develop and promote the sport, to organize thrilling competitions, and to govern and serve football as it should be. Those need to be our objectives, and today we can take a first step in that direction towards the assurance that that will always be our objective. Today we will also vote on a new president. The winner of today's election will contribute to shape the future of world football, and he will also define a new direction for FIFA. 5 candidates are running for office. They're running for your support. You know them full well. Each one of them will speak to you later. They will take the floor and present their ideas on how to improve what we do at FIFA and also the way we do it. I wish the best of luck to all the candidates. The work that will have to be addressed by the winner will not be easy. He will need a creative spirit, diplomacy, and, above all, perseverance. However, I am convinced that the new FIFA president will make his #1 priority to guarantee that we all pursue the necessary measures to rebuild FIFA, and that we will put football and the needs of those we serve at the forefront of our work. We all shoulder an enormous responsibility with respect to football and its supporters. Each one of us is here to develop and represents football in their country. We should never lose sight of this important mission. Unfortunately, the results of this work is often unseen, but here I want to pay homage to that work. The future health of football depends on this continuous commitment to fulfill the mission of all the members of FIFA. We are at a turning point in our history, and it is therefore wise to step back and see what FIFA has accomplished since 1904. We have developed networks of associations that have continually grown to build a platform that has allowed for football to gradually become the most popular sport on the planet. Thus it is that we can give to increasing numbers of people the opportunity to play, regardless of where they are and who they are. Thanks to the enormous financial success of the FIFA World Cup, we've been able to do so many things and help so many people. More than $2 billion have been invested in football development, infrastructures, and training programs that has made football grow throughout the planet. We organize a broad spectrum of competitions, from futsal to beach soccer, passing by youth competitions, as well as women's competitions that bring together the people of the entire world. Our development projects and to fight against discrimination also improve the lives of people and change behaviors. Today we are fortunate we can start a new chapter for FIFA, for you, our member associations, and also for the governance of football throughout the world. This has to have the necessary consequence that whenever people will think of FIFA, they will think football. They will think a responsible organization, thrilling competitions. They will think a governing body that is modern, reliable, benevolent, and professional. They'll have to see a FIFA that has adapted to its mission, but it's also its greatest privilege to govern the most popular sport in the world. We need to show the world that we are ready to take on the necessary measures to protect the integrity of our organization and the football, but also to regain the trust of those that make football the great international phenomenon that it is today. The billions of football lovers that are the heart and soul of the sport, the millions of players of all ages and genders, referees, coaches, players' unions, clubs, leagues. We serve these people and these entities at FIFA, and that is why we have our member associations, and that is why we have FIFA. Today we can send a clear and unambiguous message that we understand the need for profound change, and that we will set up this change. We'll need time, but we are on the right track, and we can no longer step back. I'm pleased to continue to work with you and with our future president to continue building an ever stronger FIFA that can take football to new heights for everybody. Despite the many difficulties we faced in the last year, it's been an honor for me to serve you as acting president. I want to thank all of you for your support during that period. I also want to thank the team that works behind the scenes here in Zurich at the home of FIFA, a team that throughout these troubled times has continued to work with the same passion and the same dedication. It's thanks to their professionalism that the essential work at FIFA, which means setting up development programs and organizing competitions such as the Women's World Cup in Canada, has still been provided without any change in quality. The new president will be able to count on this team and on you, the devoted member associations of FIFA, to embrace reform, restore trust, and continue to serve football and all those who love it. Yes, we are going through trying times, but they are also thrilling because today we lay the first cornerstone of a stronger FIFA. Thank you for your attention. I will give the floor now to the Secretary General for further information.
Merci, Monsieur le Président, distinguished members of the FIFA Executive Committee, dear delegates. I would like to give you an update on our operational activities since the last Congress in May 2015 and where the organization stands today. As you know, FIFA is currently in a difficult situation and the circumstances have been challenging. We experience a high pressure from authorities, and there are various legal proceedings and investigations that we have to deal with on an ongoing basis. The economic environment is difficult. On one side, we have significant unforeseen cost. On the other side, the process for the commercialization of rights is delayed. As a consequence, we will have a negative annual result for the year 2015, which also has a negative impact on our reserves. We continue to face challenges in meeting the $5 billion revenue projection for the 2015 to 2018 cycle, as per the budget approved by the FIFA Congress in 2014. We are currently about $550 million behind our goals. We therefore need to continue to manage our costs carefully and to control our expenses, and we need the reforms to be approved. We will have the final accounts ready in March, and they will be presented to you at the May Congress. For all those reasons, there is also a general uncertainty in the organization which is affecting the morale of the FIFA team. Nevertheless, and this is the good news, I'm happy to inform you that we were able to ensure successful operational delivery, and I would like to give you an overview of the most important activities since May last year. For this, I would like to touch upon the 5 most important points. In the area of football development, we have organized 720 courses, expertise missions and football activities since May 2015. A total of 23 projects, such as Goal, for example, were launched and 73 projects completed. We have provided $150 million of development funds to the member associations since May 2015, which are subject, of course, to our development regulations and review. And there is an ongoing dialogue with the member associations on governance, development, and technical aspects of football. In the area of competitions, we have organized the FIFA Women's World Cup in Canada. In addition, the FIFA Under-17 World Cup Chile, the Under-20 World Cup New Zealand, the FIFA Club World Cup Japan, and the FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup in Portugal were a great success. The preparations for the FIFA World Cup in 2018 and 2022 go according to plan, and we have supported 282 World Cup qualifier matches since May. We also had a series of key institutional events or meetings, such as the FIFA Ballon d'Or, beginning of this year, which was a great success. The opening of our new FIFA World Football Museum in Zurich, which I hope you had the opportunity to visit during these days. Of course, all the preparation for today's Extraordinary FIFA Congress, as well as the 5 meetings of the FIFA Executive Committee and the 4 meetings of the FIFA Reform Committee. With respect to commercial activities, we also made some progress. For example, the sale of the French media rights for the 2018-2022 FIFA World Cup and the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup. We have a new presenting partner for the FIFA Club World Cup, which is Alibaba e-Auto. And there are ongoing negotiations with several global companies for which we are optimistic to conclude contracts soon after today's elective Congress. And finally, we have implemented some important organizational enhancements, which include the creation of a professional football department, the launch of a new structure for development by establishing regional development offices, the implementation of turnaround measures to clear organizational weaknesses and to strengthen FIFA's governance, including, for example, a revised expense policy. And we have implemented a series of cost-saving measures in order to reduce the negative impact on the year 2015. Looking ahead, we also have launched a strategic planning process in October last year called the Path Forward, which we have presented to and discussed with the FIFA Executive Committee at several occasions, and which I would like to present to you briefly. The goal that we have set ourselves for the Path Forward is to be recognized as a modern, trusted, and professional sports organization by 2018. We will get there in a 3-step process. The first phase, which will end today with the Congress, was about managing the challenges. This includes dealing with the legal issues on a daily basis, protecting the FIFA team and its spirit, ensuring operational delivery, and most importantly, preparing this extraordinary Congress for the reforms to be approved and the new FIFA president to be elected. This is the prerequisite for the second phase, which is about restoring FIFA's credibility and which will last until end of this year and probably beyond. Here, the focus will be, most importantly, to implement the reforms, to continue to strengthen our governance and standards, to rebuild reputation and trust in organization, and to re-energize our commercial program. And the third phase from 2017 onwards is to recover and consolidate. And the focus here will be to complete the commercial program and to deliver a successful FIFA Confederations Cup in 2017 and a successful FIFA World Cup 2018 in Russia. We know it is an ambitious goal for FIFA to be recognized as a modern, trusted professional sports organization, but we believe it is a realistic one, and we are convinced that we can get there under the leadership of the new FIFA president. With this, I would like to thank you for your attention and give back the floor to the FIFA president. Thank you.
Bien, le secrétaire général vient de me dire que
The Secretary General just told me that two member associations wish to speak on the two suspensions that we mentioned at the beginning, i.e. Kuwait and Indonesia. These two member associations that wish to take the floor are Jordania, Jordan, and the United Arab Emirates. As you know, we have already adopted or approved the suspension, but we do believe that we can allow these two member associations to take the floor to speak about this point if you don't see any inconvenience in this. So, as I don't see any statement to the contrary, we would now like to afford the Jordan and the United Arab Emirates to take the floor. I believe that there's no problem with this, so the representative of Jordan is invited to come to the rostrum and take the floor.
So please remain seated and provide the microphone to the delegates of the Member Association of Jordan and the United Arab Emirates, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Article 14.2 of the FIFA statutes is clear that a suspension imposed by the Executive Committee is automatically lifted if not confirmed at the next Congress by a three-quarter majority of the members present and eligible to vote. The unequivocal structure cannot be circumvented by asking for a simple majority to postpone consideration of the matter to a future Congress and then keeping the suspension in place in the meantime. To the contrary, confirmation is requested that unless the resolution to keep the suspension in place until the next Congress is supported by 75% of the members present and eligible to vote, the suspension of Kuwait and Indonesia will be automatically lifted and there will be nothing to consider at the next Congress. Thank you.
où est-il qui a parlé? Où est-il?
Mr. Member Association of the United Arab Emirates, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. President Isa Hayatu, Mr. Sirs, member of the Executive Committee. To make a long story short, I just second the proposal that's given by Jordan, I think we should be voting on this case since the regulation allows us to do that. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Okay, we take note of the two interventions. Thank you very much. I would like to refer to the FIFA Statutes, Article 14, where it's stipulated that a suspension shall be confirmed at the next Congress by a three-quarter majority of the members present and eligible to vote. It is not stipulated whether this is an extraordinary Congress or the ordinary Congress of FIFA. So what I suggest that we do now is we take a vote on the principle, and we would follow the recommendation by the Executive Committee, which is based on the fact that the situation in both member associations, meaning the Kuwait Football Association and the Football Association of India, remains unchanged for the moment, which means that they are in breach of their obligations regarding the FIFA statutes. So the proposal now is that we pass to the vote, and the proposal is that it is the next FIFA Congress which will take a decision on the two cases. So I would like to proceed to the vote on this item. If you are in agreement with the recommendation by the Executive Committee that it shall be the next ordinary FIFA Congress in Mexico to take a decision on this item, then push the green button. If you want to abstain, yellow, and if you say no, the red button. So the vote is open. The vote is closed. Thank you. We are waiting for the result. So we have 165 member associations accepting the proposal, which means that the ordinary Congress in Mexico will deal with the matter of the suspension of the two member associations. Thank you very much. And with this, we close finally the agenda item 4. And j'aimerais donner la parole maintenant au président de la FIFA.
To hand over the floor to the president of FIFA and to introduce item number 8 of the agenda. Please, Mr. President.
Chers membres du comité exécutif de la FIFA,
Members of the FIFA Executive Committee, delegates of the FIFA member associations, today the eyes of the world are on FIFA, our institution, and of course its member associations. We must send a clear message to this global audience that we stand united in our resolve to learn from recent events. The challenges that FIFA is facing should also be considered as a unique opportunity for the world's football governing body to renew itself. FIFA is at the start of a journey to restore the image of FIFA so that it can again be seen as a strong and responsible foundation for football around the world. To reach this aim, the implementation of the reforms is fundamental. The reforms will embed a culture of strong governance and greater diversity within football that will be vital to the future health of the game, as well as to its promotion and development around the world. During the course of the reform process, the Executive Committee has approved a resolution which commits FIFA to reform. The resolution states the following items. Following an unprecedented crisis in the history of FIFA, in August 2015, the FIFA Executive Committee appointed the 2016 FIFA Reform Committee under the leadership of an independent chairman and charged with the task of making concrete proposals to improve the governance structures of FIFA. Second, all member associations of FIFA acknowledge and accept that reform is now essential to rebuild both trust and confidence in FIFA and reestablish its credibility and its reputation. Third, given the fundamental nature of the reforms needed, they must be reflected in the statutes of FIFA, which serve as the basic constitutional document of the organization. Fourth, there must be a clear separation of powers between the political bodies of FIFA and the operational day-to-day management of the organization. 5, there must be far greater financial transparency, coupled necessarily with independent control mechanisms in order to comply with best practices and to eliminate any form of corruption. 6, term limits must be established for the most important official positions in FIFA, in order to safeguard against consolidation of power and also to provide the opportunity for fresh ideas and new thinking to take hold in FIFA. 7, not only FIFA but all member associations are called upon to observe and respect the principles of good governance and reflect these principles in their own statutes. 8, member associations must be more involved in the workings of FIFA, its institutions and committees, and also in its sporting competitions, especially and most notably in the FIFA World Cup. All of the stakeholders, and in particular, the players and clubs need to be more integrated into the FIFA structures and its policy making. 10, there must be a firm commitment with regards to the development of women's football and the inclusion of women at all levels of football's governance. 11, the member associations of FIFA therefore welcome and support the statutory reform proposals placed before this Congress and endorse these proposals in their entirety. I trust that you will do the same today by approving the necessary amendments to the FIFA statutes. There must be a collective responsibility for what has gone wrong, and for the action that is required to restore confidence and trust. I would now like to ask Dr. François Carrard, the chairman of the 2016 FIFA Reform Committee, to come on stage and provide a report on the reform of FIFA's organizational structure. Mr. Carrard, you have the floor.
Mr. President, members of the Executive Committee, delegates of the member associations, ladies and gentlemen. Your President, Mr. Hayatou, has already explained to you the circumstances under which the 2016 FIFA Reform Committee has been appointed. At this stage, allow me to start by expressing my personal gratitude as independent chairman of such committee to the excellent support received from the entire FIFA leadership and administration, including President Blatter, President Hayatou, Acting Secretary General Markus Hattner, the legal director, Marco Villeguer, their staff, and even my own staff. Thanks to them, under a difficult situation with the various episodes which you all know, the Reform Committee has been able to work diligently, constantly, and I wish to emphasize more particularly, and this is important, in full independence. Having said that, I also wish to address my deep thanks to the members of the 2016 FIFA Reform Committee. Their names are now on the screen. I shall not read them all, but I think they deserve a great deal of credit, because since we've been beginning our work in August, between August and the end of the year, they have been totally dedicated, committed, and professionally responsible for the performance of a challenging work. The reform which is submitted to you is the result of a team work and has been expressed through a total consensus. And I think this is quite important, because I must say, frankly, when I was appointed as independent chairman, there was many criticism saying you will be chairing a committee which is not independent, which is not including outside advisors and outside experts, and you will not be able to perform your work under those conditions. That proved to be wrong. And this is the credit I have to give to your representatives on the committee, because these representatives have worked beautifully independently, and they were totally committed. And they had a remarkable spirit of cooperation, independence, professionalism, and dedication. Taking into account the only goal of this committee, namely to contribute, to assist, to restore FIFA's credibility and the confidence in your organization, the assistance also to help FIFA renew itself and re-establish the real reputation it deserves. We have worked hard between August and now by reviewing the works of the preceding various groups which have been advising FIFA, and there were also outside committees there. We've been studying Mr. Scala's proposals, which were quite deeply important. We have considered the contents of many other documents and reports. I also personally had the opportunity to have many exchanges during these months with leading opinion leaders, decision makers, and representatives of a number of stakeholders, including sponsors, clubs, as well as outside personalities, highly respected. The reform process was announced on 2nd of June by the decision of your executive committee, and you have here the key milestones of the various meetings of the committee. In between, of course, there was also a lot of work in progress, of drafting, of exchanges, and this was a constant pressure for us, because I must say time was very short. I had to go through a similar exercise years ago for the IOC. We had some more time, but there again the dedication of everybody and reminded under difficult circumstances has been absolutely fabulous. So the work of our committee has resulted in 3 basic sets of recommendations that have been unanimously, and I insist again, unanimously approved by all members of the committee representing all the confederations, as well as unanimously, and I thank them for that support, by the members of the FIFA Executive Committee. These sets are essentially the principles of leadership to effect a cultural change at FIFA. Cultural change is fundamental, not only at FIFA. President Bach earlier said that governance in sports today is very different from what was governance 10, 20, or 30 years ago. Unfortunately, I knew it 30 years ago. I'm an old fox now, but governance has changed so much, And the cultural change is fundamental to any organization, but of course also to FIFA. The principles of governance reform and the principles to foster greater participation of the member associations, stakeholders in FIFA, and also the women. You will notice that in our reform, the number of women of the executive committee has been multiplied by 6, from 1 to 6, of course. Each of these sets of principles is as important as the others. Changes to FIFA's culture, the governance of the organization, the level of participation of stakeholders, particularly members of all associations and players, are critical for the organization to renew itself, restore its reputation, and better serve the global football community. In short, the reforms proposed to your approval can be summed up as follows. The reform process aims at a profound necessary change in culture. I insist again on that. There will be more democracy. For instance, thanks to the new election process for the members of the Council and the introduction of term limits. There will be better governance through the clear separation of powers and proposed monitoring and control improved for financial flows. There will be more transparency and better accountability. There will be improved and increased universal participation, including, I insist again, women. Your approval is needed to allow FIFA to enter into a new era. We all know that there is a major crisis, but the Chinese are right when they say any crisis is an opportunity, and we must seize this opportunity. The beginning of such new era with a continuously evolving reform process. This reform package, which is a whole, will be the starting basic foundation on which FIFA and its new leadership, its new president, can build the future. It must not be considered as the end of a process. It's the beginning of an ongoing reform process which will, I am sure, be developed over the years. We hope that we have assisted and that we are assisting in contributing to restore the credibility and high reputation which FIFA deserves. If there is a will, there is a way. This way lies in the reforms submitted to you, which we think you should approve globally as a starting foundation for the future. The will is yours for the better of football. My colleagues, Mr. Constant Omari and Victor Montigliani will now present to you in brief the different concrete proposals for the reform, starting with the principles of leadership to effect cultural change in FIFA. But before that, let me thank again the FIFA staff and all our assistants who have been helping us in these difficult moments. This, Mr. President, closes my report, and I hand it over back to you. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Carrard, pour ce rapport.
Thank you very much for this very timely report. And without further ado, I would like to ask Mr. Constant Omari, a member of the FIFA Executive Committee and a member of the 2016 FIFA Reform Committee, as well as Mr. Victor Montagliani, the president of the Canadian Soccer Association and a member of the 2016 FIFA Reform Committee, on stage to give further details. You have 2 lecterns, and each of you can take their place at the respective lectern. So please organize amongst yourselves in order to alternate in taking the floor. I believe it is Mr. Omari who will have the floor first. Thank you, Mr. President. While changes to the FIFA statutes and operations are necessary to ensure compliance with and adherence to governance best practices, cultural and behavioral changes within FIFA's leadership are indispensable in order to effect true and lasting changes and ultimately to restore FIFA's reputation. Strong organizations are distinguished not only by their products and services, but also by their leaders. Both the Reform Committee and the Executive Committee strongly believe that FIFA and its member associations must unite around a core set of principles that communicate its seriousness of purpose to the public, as well as enforce meaningful cultural reform to truly change the organization for the better. These principles are as follows. Responsibility. Key FIFA officials shall accept and assume responsibility in respect of recognizing and addressing any emerging deficiencies in FIFA and in organized football as a whole. Humility. All key FIFA officials must accept that no individual or organization is perfect. Errors do occur, and they must be recognized and addressed. Tone at the top. FIFA, the confederations, member associations, and stakeholders in organized football must set the tone to encourage an ethical culture within their organizations. Respect. All those involved in football must now show respect for each other, for the regions and cultures we represent, but also, and above that, for the views of external stakeholders, including the media and critics. Candor. Nothing short of full transparency in how football is governed and global, regional, and local level shall be acceptable.
The second set of reform principles is related to FIFA's governance. These principles attempt to address certain deficiencies in the governance and operations of FIFA that have put the organization at risk and involve wide-ranging changes to FIFA's governance structure, contract processes and operations in order to improve efficiency, prevent fraud, conflicts of interest, and increase transparency. The individual principles proposed under this heading are the following. Clear separation of political and management functions at FIFA. The current FIFA Executive Committee shall be transformed in order to focus on overseeing strategic matters and to exercise a supervisory function over the standing committees and the FIFA administration. To reflect these changes in function, the name of the committee should be changed to the FIFA Council. At the same time, the size of this body should be increased to ensure wide-range participation and democracy. The FIFA President should chair the Council and be accountable to it, whereas the President should represent FIFA generally and ensure the protection and advancement of FIFA's mission, strategic direction, policies, and values. The Secretary General should have overall responsibility for the performance of the FIFA administration, which executes the day-to-day business operations by implementing the policies and strategies as defined and directed by the new FIFA Council. The Secretary General may only be dismissed by the FIFA Council.
Par ailleurs, l'amélioration et la transparence et du contrôle financier.
And control. The aforementioned revised role of the now renamed FIFA Council includes the right to define policies and strategies to generate revenue, to prescribe the criteria for the distribution of funds to member associations generally, and to approve the FIFA budget and annual financial accounts. As far as revenue is concerned, i.e. money in, the FIFA administration shall execute all efforts to generate such revenue in terms of marketing, sponsorship, World Cup revenue, etc. And this administration shall be accountable and responsible to FIFA and the FIFA Council. With regard to development and expenses, i.e. money out matters, the following institutional reforms shall contribute to ensuring greater financial transparency and control. First, the Development Committee should be modified to include not less than 3 independent members and decide on specific grants of funds to member associations or projects. Second, the Finance Committee should now consist of a majority of independent members, including members competent in financial matters. It shall be in charge of creating and proposing budgets and approving annual financial accounts for approval by the FIFA Council and submission to the Congress. With regard to both, the fully independent Audit and Compliance Committee should be tasked with overseeing the relevant processes executed by the FIFA administration, i.e. money in and money out. The Audit and Compliance Committee shall feature members with expertise in auditing and financial statement matters.
Moreover, elections in terms of members of the FIFA Council and the President. In this respect, term limits shall be introduced to the President and the members of the Council as follows. The President should not be allowed to serve for more than 3 terms of 4 years, whether consecutive or not, i.e. a maximum of 12 years. The same applies to the non-ex-official FIFA Council members. They should also not be allowed to serve for more than 3 terms of 4 years, whether consecutive or not, i.e. also a maximum of 12 years. Council members shall be elected by the member associations at their confederation congresses, in accordance with FIFA's own electoral regulations. The electoral process shall be monitored by FIFA, and all candidates shall be subject to eligibility checks, including, most importantly, integrity tests, conducted by an independent FIFA review committee. This review committee shall be part of a new FIFA governance committee.
Un autre principe concernant la réforme de gouvernance de la FIFA et la transparence des rémunérations.
Reform is transparency of compensation. The relevant proposals include the disclosure of individual compensation on an annual basis of the President, all Council members, the Secretary General, and the chairpersons of independent committees and judicial bodies. Moreover, the annual compensation of these individuals should be reviewed and approved by an independent compensation committee that is part of the Audit and Compliance Committee, relying on third-party compensation analysis.
Moreover, the 2016 FIFA Reform Committee, with the consent of the FIFA Executive Committee, proposes various universal principles for confederations and member associations. The rationale underlying this particular proposal is that every member association of FIFA, as well as every confederation, should comply with the principles of good governance. Consequently, the statutes of the member associations of FIFA and of confederations must contain certain minimum provisions in order to guarantee, amongst other matters, neutrality in matters of politics and religion, a prohibition against all forms of discrimination, avoidance of all forms of political interference, independent judicial bodies based on the principles of separation of powers, respect for the laws of the game and for the principles of loyalty, integrity, sportsmanship, and fair play, a clear definition of the competences of decision-making bodies, avoidances of all conflicts of interest, respect for the principles of representative democracy, and the provision of annual independent audits of financial statements. Both the 2016 Reform Committee and the FIFA Executive Committee believe that the current reform process offers an invaluable opportunity to reshape and improve football governance from top to bottom, by ensuring not only that the necessary reforms are made at FIFA level, but that every member association of FIFA, every confederation also observes and complies with the principles of good governance.
La troisième et dernière série de principes proposés dans le cadre du processus de réforme de la FIFA vise à encourager une plus grande participation des associations membres et des acteurs du football au sein de la FIFA. La commission des réformes de la FIFA 2016 et le comité exécutif
Committee and the FIFA Executive Committee firmly believe that, in addition to the structural reforms proposed, a key element in the overall reform process is a more comprehensive level of participation in FIFA at all levels. Wider participation promotes both democracy and transparency and will also help FIFA to modernize itself and face future challenges. Consequently, it is important that the Council become larger and more representative. It is important that women have an enhanced role in football governance at all levels. It's important that key stakeholder groups, such as clubs and players, are anchored into the relevant FIFA committees. And it is also important that FIFA organizes and facilitates regular debate discussions between all members.
Member associations more, FIFA should organize at least annually a conference involving all member associations in order to promote the core values and mission of FIFA. Such conferences would also give the member associations the opportunity to debate and discuss the strategic issues of high relevance for the football world, such as football development, integrity, social responsibility, governance, human rights, racism, match fixing, gender equality, protection of clean athletes, youth football, and security.
Enfin, le nombre des commissions permanentes et leur
Finally,
structure
the number and structure of FIFA standing committees should be adjusted. The composition of the committees should be adjusted in order to ensure that all member associations are involved in a more meaningful, gender-balanced, and efficient way in the decision-making processes of FIFA. Moreover, a new football stakeholders committee shall be created to include members representing key stakeholders in the game, such as, in particular, players and clubs. It is crucial for the future of FIFA and for its transparent and inclusive development to involve the stakeholders in its decision-making processes. This new committee would be an important and appropriate forum to ensure transparency and inclusion.
The last proposal made in relation to the reform of FIFA's governance aims at greater recognition of the role and promotion of women in football. FIFA recognizes that women represent the biggest growth and development opportunity for all of us in the football world, and that football governance at all levels needs to include more women in order to create a more diverse decision-making environment and culture. Consequently, the number of voting seats on the FIFA Council for Women shall be increased substantially. Each confederation shall not have less than one voting FIFA Council seat reserved for women. Moreover, FIFA statutory objectives must include promoting the development of women's football and the full participation of women at all levels of football, including in governance and in technical roles. Equally, all member associations of FIFA, as well as all confederations, must be committed to respecting women and promoting gender equality in all aspects of football. This closes the report on the reform of FIFA's organizational structure. Je vous remercie. Je retourne la parole au Président.
Back to the President.
Merci.
Thank you, sir.
Merci, Monsieur.
Thank you, Mr. Omari. Thank you to the President of the Canadian Federation for this detailed report. There is the Palestinian Football Federation that requested the floor through its head of legal department, Mr. Gonzalo Boy. Let him take the floor, but he can speak to the Congress from his seat. You have the floor, Mr. Boyle.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, as the Palestinian Federation, we would like to thank the work done by the Reform Committee. And as Mr. Karat has said, time was very short for these reforms, and we consider that there is a need for reform based on a transitional process, because we understand that FIFA needs to go into an evolution and not into an involution. This reform, in our view, doesn't represent a step forward for a proper change and fight against wrongdoing and/or corruption. This reform, in our opinion, seriously threatens the future of FIFA. This reform empowers even more the ex-committee, now the Council, in detriment both of the Congress and in detriment of the Members' Association. Also, reduce the powers of the Confederation in favor of the ex-committee or Council. If transparency is the objective of this reform moves exactly in the opposite direction. The Council will be creating its own functions without the interference of any other body or organization. There will be no balance and not contrabalance. Increase the power of the Secretary General and decrease the power of the President. And above all, put all the powers in the hands of the Council. It is also important to take into consideration the position of the stakeholders, because according to the new statutes, the stakeholders must agree to recognize the jurisdiction and authority of CAS. The problem is that CAS got no jurisdiction on matters related to stakeholders. So that's also something that we consider it's a mistake. We also would like to say that the health of football depends on human rights, how we develop, on democracy, and on transparency. No real transparency will be there if no real norms provide with the terms and the concept of transparency. We need to reconstruct the credibility of FIFA, and this is not the best way. The new president won't be able to move forward because he won't have the power to do it. According to this reform, the power will be in the Council. We have to send a clear message to the world, and this reform is not the best message that we can send. We feel that during a storm is not a good moment to refurbish the boat. We are under a storm. We should wait until the things calm down and take our time to make a reform in accordance with what the society is claiming from us. Cultural changes, good governance, democracy, participation, and transparency in these new reforms are empty words, as not reflected clearly in the new statutes. We are an association, not a company. We do not need a reform that make us look like a company. We need a reform that make us look like an association in favor of the football and in favor of FIFA. And we consider that to do that, we need time. We need to work in a different way, and we need to include not only the terms transparency, but the real concepts and the rules to develop transparency, to develop human rights and develop equality. We consider that it is a bit too quick to do it in this Congress. We would like this reform not to be passed and to take time to do a proper reform, led by whoever is elected as the new president. As I said at the beginning, and I will not take any longer, we have reviewed the statutes in a very good and carefully manner. We disagree with them because we need an evolution, not an involution. Thank you, Mr. President.
Vous avez fini?
Have you finished?
Bien.
Okay.
Nous avons pris bonne note.
We've taken due note of your statement. We'll go back to it under item 9. So now let's start on item 9 proper, precisely involving the adoption of these reforms. Dear members of the Executive Committee of FIFA, dear delegations, for member associations, dear friends. Item 9 on the vote on proposals for amendments of the FIFA statutes, regulations governing the application of the statutes and the standing orders of the Congress is the next point. In the light of the proposals made by the Reform Committee, presented to you in the draft version, and pursuant to all their work, we wish to highlight that it's important for us to remain united and for these reforms make FIFA a strong and responsible organization worthy of football that it represents. If all this is clear and no member wishes to share its thoughts on the subject, and if there are no further questions in this regard, I hereby propose that we proceed to a vote for the acceptance of the entirety of the amendments that are included in the annex of the agenda of the Extraordinary Congress, and that way you would confirm the recommendation of the Executive Committee here at Congress. I will give the floor now to the Secretary General to proceed to the vote. However, I think there is a further information to provide on the last intervention.
Thank you, President. So I think the intervention was clear. We have taken duly note of it, and I think we can proceed to the vote accordingly. Now you have heard the arguments presented by Mr. Carrar, by the two speakers, and also by the FIFA President. So the proposal is to adopt the amendment of the statutes in their entirety, and it's important to know that we need a three-quarter majority here, so please all provide your support for this crucial moment in FIFA's history. If you agree with the proposal, please push the green button. If you want to abstain, yellow. If you say no, red button. The vote is open. Thank you very much. As you can see, we have a large majority of 179 member associations in favor of our new statutes and our new reforms. I would like to thank you very much for this support, and we can now pass to the next point. Monsieur le Président, je vous donne la parole, s'il vous plaît.
Merci pour ce soutien que vous venez de.
Thank you for the support you've just brought to the reforms that were prepared by the committee.
Et maintenant, nous allons.
Let us move to item 10, and I invite the Secretary General to address item 10. Thank you.
Thank you, President. So point 10 is about the election for replacement of members of judicial bodies. I give you some background. We are proposing two votes. First, due to a vacancy, the Executive Committee, in accordance with Article 61, Paragraph 6 of the FIFA statutes, at its meeting on the 20th of July 2015, appointed Mr. Jim Rabai Burungar from Chad as the Deputy Chairman of the Investigatory Chamber of the Ethics Committee until this Congress. The Executive Committee recommends to approve the appointment and to elect Mr. Jim Rabai Burungar as the Deputy Chairman of the Investigatory Chamber of the Ethics Committee for the remainder of the term of office until the 67th FIFA Congress to take place in 2017. So we will put this proposal to the vote. If you agree that Mr. Jim Rabai Burungar should be elected, please push the green button. If you want to abstain, yellow, and if you want to say no, red button. The vote is open. Thank you. So we wait for the result. So congratulations, Mr. Jimrabai Burunga, for your election by a large majority of 96%. Thank you. We have a second point to decide, which is about a member of the Audit and Compliance Committee. The Executive Committee proposes the dismissal of Mr. Kenover Watson from the Cayman Island, a member of the Audit and Compliance Committee, due to his conviction by the authorities in the context of criminal proceedings. So we will put this to the vote also. The vote is on the dismissal of Mr. Kenover Watson, which shall come into effect immediately. If you agree, green, abstain, yellow, no, red. The vote is open. Thank you. The vote is closed. Also, as you can see, this proposal has been accepted by 99%. Thank you very much. Je vous redonne la parole, Monsieur le Président, s'il vous plaît.
Merci, chers congressistes.
Thank you, dear members of Congress. We've spoken for about 2.5 hours now. Let's take a short break that will allow us to have lunch. And we'll come back here to address another important issue, the election of the new president of FIFA. We'll have 1 hour for lunch. During that hour, we'll eat, drink, you'll have some spare time, and then we'll come back here for the rest of the work. Thank you. See you soon.